Good evening, everybody. Brian Neubert here from goldenblack.com, live in Jersey Mike's Arena, the most delicious facility in the entire Big Ten, following Purdue's 68-50 win at Rutgers. This is your goldenblack.com wrap video. It is brought to you by our friends once again at the Purdue Club Hotel, whose Edison, New Jersey location I have yet to find. Nor have I found one in Middlesex, nor have I found one in Newark, the Oranges, any of those places. No Purdue Union Club hotels. Someone make it make sense for me. I have checked 3 different malls in my native habitat here, from Paramus Park to the Garden State Plaza to the Menlo Park Mall, and I have found no Purdue Union Club hotels. Make it make sense. Anyway, Purdue wins 68-50 here over Rutgers. Never have things been easy here. And while I don't want to say this was necessarily easy, look at the score. Purdue led this game by as many as 20 points late. They were up double digits in the first half relatively quickly, thanks in large part to Rutgers committing double-digit turnovers basically in a matter of minutes. That's part Rutgers' youth and disorganization at this stage of their development as a team, which will be together for a few more months, but also the area of the game where Purdue has really turned a corner. Purdue has been really good defensively ever since the Auburn game. That's 4 games now, Toledo, and then these last 3 Big Ten games. The first 2 were against Toledo and Minnesota, who are both not good. But Northwestern, Rutgers, not powerhouses, but credible competition, especially Rutgers here on the road. Both Northwestern and Rutgers have outstanding scoring duos, and Purdue came with great plans and executed those plans very well. Matt Painter wants me to tell you that Dylan Harper is coming off illness. He didn't tell me that. He told everyone that, as if almost to excuse Rutgers for its struggles lately, which is perfectly valid, but that's also Painter always looking out for the other coach and always sympathizing with the other coach and things like that. But yes, Harper has been ill. I can't imagine he's been practicing all that much. He obviously was not himself tonight. This is a top 5 NBA pick in the making, and he's 2 for 9 with 6 points. I'd imagine he would have fared a little bit better had he been 100%, had he been in shape, had he been practicing, had he had his legs, whatever else comes with the flu, or whatever illness it was he had. I haven't really followed up on it. In fact, it escaped me entirely, kind of coming into this game. Nevertheless, Rutgers has 2 top 5 NBA draft picks on this team as freshmen. Northwestern has Brooks Barnhizer and Nick Martinelli, neither of whom will be top 5 NBA draft picks, but they were both averaging 20 points a game coming in. 2 very formidable tandems. Not one guy you can build a whole scouting report around and have a better chance to execute that game plan, as opposed to having to build it around a couple of people. Sorry, we've got pickup games going on here. Purdue's doing really well defensively. They're paying attention, clearly. Their attention to detail, their anticipation is tangible. It looks entirely different than I think what you saw early this season, but also what you saw at times prior to this season, where, you know, Purdue had a guy who covered up a lot of things defensively and on the defensive glass, and I don't have to tell you who that was. Obviously, I'm talking about Mason Gillis. Sorry, Mason Gillis. That wasn't meant as an insult. That was just a joke, a bad joke. Anyway, Purdue has been really good together defensively. They've been pretty good as individuals defensively. They're really trying hard. They're really trying hard on the glass. They're fighting for physical rebounds. Again, Purdue has to overachieve as a rebounding team. They do not have the physical advantages they normally have in terms of size around the basket. There's no Travion Williams. There's no Caleb Swanigan. There's no Zach Edey. There's no singular guy who is a top 5, if not top 1, rebounder in college basketball. Purdue has had that luxury forever. and they don't have it anymore. And what you need is 5 guys just giving everything they got, taking out people, going for the ball, whatever, diving on the floor. You've seen a lot of that here lately. And just can't say enough about Purdue's effort defensively, its effort on the glass, and its preparation, and its understanding of the importance of this. It seems obvious, but sometimes teams have to grow into certain things. And again, Purdue is trending in a tremendous fashion. Trending was clearly not the right choice of words there, but once it came out of my mouth, I was fully committed. And I just had to make the best of it. Purdue is playing very well defensively, long story short. And that has been a very positive development, and that, I think, is something that really bodes well for Purdue's ability to really compete for this Big Ten title. I still think they're the best team in the league. Illinois and Michigan just swept their West Coast swings. They laid down a gauntlet of sorts. Purdue would love to match it, but I do think Purdue is the best team, and I think that Purdue is trending very well in areas where it looked vulnerable a matter of weeks ago. This was a grinder game for Purdue. I think that Purdue just beat Rutgers the way Rutgers has historically beaten people in the Big Ten. They flipped the script, if you will. Purdue is the more physical team. Purdue is the more aggressive team. Purdue overcame inefficient offense. Not in the big picture of things, because Purdue is pretty good offensively. I thought Purdue did a great job getting whatever it wanted offensively, which is complete bizarro world when talking about Purdue playing Rutgers, especially at this place. But Purdue just had a bad shooting night. They couldn't make a three. They left a lot of points at the foul line. And that put them in this consummate F around and find out sort of situation. And Rutgers had no business being inside single digits in the first half because they turned the ball over like a dozen times in the first half, and 6 times through 6 minutes. Purdue should have pushed that lead out, probably got to 20 in the first half, quite honestly. It did not, because it left too many points on the table at the foul line. It had 3 empty possessions, I believe, in the first half alone. 2 missed 1-and-1s, and Traycoff-Moran missing back-to-backs before he basically sat out the rest of the game. So that was a bunch of points Purdue left on the table. But then also Purdue is, what are they? They are 2 for 11. Wait, hold on. No, that's not right. They were 2 for 13 in the first half from 3. You go 5 of 13, this is, probably a double-digit lead for the entirety of the first half and going into halftime. Instead, Rutgers gets its feet under it a little bit, its legs under it a little bit, goes in down 9 into halftime. Should have been a 15 to 20-point game, in my opinion. A normal shooting night, and you can't count on normal shooting nights on the road. Everybody should know that by now who watches Big Ten basketball. You can't count on that. When you shoot really well on the road, that's the exception, not the rule. Purdue did not shoot really well on the road. Purdue shot badly on the road. And it didn't shoot much better in the second half. 2 for 11. Nevertheless, it made big plays at big times. Cam Heidi's tip-in on that offensive rebound, in my opinion, was the play of the game. It came at a really important juncture. Jakari Harris's 3 coming out of the timeout after Rutgers got within 5. 1A to 1B in terms of the biggest play of the game for Purdue. And then after that, you push things out a little bit. Rutgers starts showing its youth. I think Purdue really exploited Rutgers' youth here, in addition to its lack of skill. And then you get Traycoff-Moran back in the game without fouls to worry about, and he gets going the way he can get going and really carries you offensively the rest of the way. But that momentum was built by Cam Heidi tipping in that offensive rebound, Jakari Harris making that 3 when Rutgers comes out in the zone. Those were 2 really slippery slope moments where Rutgers had some momentum, and you didn't want to let them get their heads up. Supreme talent, when confidence is on its side, is scary. It is not something to be trifled with. And this crowd, while not what it normally is, because Rutgers isn't great this season, would have gotten into this had Rutgers gotten a stop in either of those two situations, come down and scored again. So big moment, big plays for Purdue. Really kind of built the momentum that carried them home. Really, really a positive thing to win a game like this with grit more than shooting. I think once you've won a game like this, you can look back and say, hey, this is a really positive thing that we shot like hell, but we won anyway. Teams can take a lot of confidence in that. They can it underscores the importance of what Purdue is doing at the other end of the floor. And the more Purdue invests in that, the better it's going to be. You see the results right now of that investment really manifesting itself into really good defensive play, solid rebounding, and big hustle plays, big grit plays, things like that. This is, again, Purdue kind of flipped the script here on Rutgers. Purdue did to Rutgers what Rutgers historically has done to Purdue. But I think you also have to give credit to the guys who are making it happen. You know, Purdue has three really good players in Trey Kaufman-Renn, Fletcher Lawyer, Braden Smith. Smith was masterful tonight. That's kind of becoming the thing every game here. It's not like there's any ups and downs there. 16 and 14. A couple of turnovers that were only tangentially his fault. I think there were some throwaways to big men who aren't necessarily used to catching those passes, because Trey Kaufman-Renn is normally the target guy on those passes. But Braden Smith was brilliant in this game. Kaufman-Renn comes in, does his thing in only 20 minutes, 16.7 rebounds. Purdue needs him on the floor. I keep saying this over and over again, but it can't afford the foul 32 seconds into the game. Whether there's anything Kaufman-Renn can change to avoid that, I have no idea. Whether this is just bad luck, I don't know, but it's got to stop because Purdue needs him on the floor. That much is obvious. I've been beating that drum. It's a really hot take. Purdue needs its leading scorer on the floor. But the good news is that this has been, in my mind, and I've watched every one of his college games, most of them in person. Not everyone, but most of them. Caleb Furst is playing the best sustained basketball. Hold on. Let me back that up. I've got a word salad being tossed in my head right now. This is the most impactful, sustained stretch of Caleb Furst's career, in my opinion. Keep in mind that this was a guy coming out of high school who was a borderline McDonald's All-American. North Carolina offered him. Michigan State offered him. This was a guy who was a big-time recruit who, people, when fans view players, I don't think they ever really shake that. And I think hopes were high for Caleb Furst being not only a good player for Purdue, but being a star. And, there were some ups and downs early in his career. Then Zach Edey happened. And that is the singular reason why it's only now that this is the first time in Caleb Furst's career that Purdue needs him to be good, that they are really relying on him to be good, that they're investing in him being good like they would any other, standout player. This is really his big opportunity. It's his fourth and final year in the program. It's his final year playing organized basketball. He's going to go to med school after this. He has been so good for Purdue, so good that I couldn't come up with a word. And if I can't come up with a word, that should blow your mind. 7 points and 7 rebounds in 31 minutes. Take that in context. Trey Kaufman-Renn is Purdue's leading scorer, a first-team All-Big Ten caliber player, in my opinion. Purdue doesn't have him most of the game. Caleb Furst steps in and plays awesome. He's rebounding. He's running the floor. He's hustling. He's finishing at the rim tonight. That dunk was unexpected. What else did he do? He blocked some shots. Purdue doesn't block shots. This is not a shot blocking team. As soon as Daniel Jacobson got hurt, this stopped being a shot blocking team. But Caleb Furst, in the second half of this game, came up big, protecting the rim. These are not rummies either that he was blocking the shots of. These are guys who were, is rummies inappropriate? I don't know. I just always casually used that word when I was a kid. But these are NBA guys who are going at the rim. And these are NBA guys who are challenging him at the rim only to get dunked on with one hand. I'm not a big dunk guy in terms of its significance because it's the same 2 points as it would be a layup. But it says something about the way a player's playing, their confidence level, their aggressiveness level. And that was really something, that one-handed dunk that Caleb Furst put down with Ace Bailey bearing down on him. So, Jakari Harris, huge game for Purdue. Cam Heide, a huge play for Purdue. C.J. Cox, a really good game for Purdue. Stuff's starting to come together here top to bottom. You've got a lot of quality emerging below the big three of Smith, Lawyer, Kaufman, Rand. It would be really, really helpful if Cam Heide, Miles Colvin's three started going down. They're in real funks. They're getting good looks. As Purdue as a whole was, it wasn't just those guys. Purdue got great looks from three in that first half and throughout the game, and it just was one of those nights where it just wasn't going. Had it gone, this would have been a blowout that you never would have seen coming against Rutgers, at Rutgers, under this coach, under Steve Peichel, who this team has to be killing that poor guy. I know talent wins, but Steve Peichel is a team builder. He's a culture builder. He has won with grinders. He has won with experience. He has won with defense. And that team I just watched, that team that is now 8-8 with a loss to Kennesaw State and a blowout losses at home now to Wisconsin and Purdue. This team is young, and this team is not built like a Rutgers team. So had Purdue won like this in any of the past trips to this place, it would have really been something. I'm not saying this isn't something. Again, road wins win the league this year, and every single one of them is gold. You've got two now. You got to get a couple out west here next week. You got to get at least one out west. Again, Illinois and Michigan really helped themselves by doing that. I think Purdue got screwed by the schedule here. You're playing in New Jersey on Thursday, West Lafayette on Sunday, and then you're going out west. You're playing basically alongside both oceans in the span of a week, which shouldn't happen. It just should not happen. But Purdue did its part on the front end of this thing here. Got a really good win at Rutgers, and looked pretty good doing it. Overcame some things. Showed some real grit, continued positive trends, and can't say much more else than that. So that's what I got from Jersey Mike's Arena here in my native habitat of New Jersey. This is Brian Neubert from GoldenBlack.com. Thank you for watching. Thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. And thank you for processing our materials, however it is you process our materials. And thank you once again to the Purdue Union Club Hotel for your support. As always, next year when Purdue comes here, we're going to need that location open in Paramus. Thanks, everybody.